All right, let's talk Michigan Wolverines. We are into fall camp, regular season football not far behind. Football is almost finally back, and this Wolverine squad is trending in the right direction. We've covered a lot this offseason. After a volatile season last year, all the momentum is right now behind Ann Arbor, and offensive coordinator Chip Lindsey has recently highlighted one freshman in particular he's very impressed with. This is a great news for the Wolverines football team, and we'll get to all that in just 1 second. But first, I'm Nick, that is Andrew, and this is Saturday Morning Inspection. All right, this Michigan Wolverine squad is obviously heading into a big time season. We're talking about a change going on across the organization. Year two, after some volatility, year one, transition year in 2024, still a really strong finish. And we all understand that this team is going to go as far as any team will as the quarterback position. A young quarterback, Bryce Underwood, has drawn a lot of praise this offseason from a lot of different sources. Now he probably drew his biggest praise yet from offensive coordinator Chip Lindsey. Let's pull up the report courtesy of SI.com. Then we'll get into some interesting data on the other side. I think he's very, very advanced for his age, Lindsey said. I think he had good high school coaches. I think physically he looks the part and all that, which is really important, by the way. Frame, size, stature, all of that really does matter. But really, I think the surprise for me, football knowledge is really high for a 17-year-old high school kid who just got here. Pretty impressive. Even as impressive as he is, Lindsey says there's still a learning curve for Underwood as he tries to learn the offense. And coaches will always say that, of course, players can get better. The good news is that it doesn't sound like putting in the work is a problem for Michigan's prized quarterback. Now, learning our terminology and why we call certain things, there's been some learning process there, but the guy is a football junkie. He's here early and staying late and loves to study football, and this is a good place to do just that. All right, so obviously we've heard a lot of praise and we've covered it on this channel. Underwood, whether it's strength and conditioning coach saying, hey, he's doing good things, working hard, reports here or there over the course of the offseason, and it's all good stuff. And we reported on it saying, listen, this is a good sign of momentum. Underwood doing good things early. But now we are getting close to rubber meets the road time, right? The quarterback position battle, while not finalized, I think a lot of people, and I would agree with this, Underwood, barring something very surprising, will be the starter. So now it's all about, okay, can he be ready? And now that we're right in the middle of camp, we're getting ready for, actual real football only a few weeks away where it really does matter. Like I said, rubber meets the road territory. The fact that offensive coordinator Lindsey's coming out saying, listen, Underwood, really impressive, football junkie, good frame, looks the part, still room for improvement, as coaches will always say, is a really, really great sign because this is a Michigan passing attack that needs to take a step forward, a massive leap forward in 2025. Because even though they finished the season strong, beating Ohio State, Michigan, they did it in spite of their passing game. And let's pull up a graphic here to kind of highlight what I'm talking about. So this is the bottom 10 Power Five teams in college football last season during the regular season, ranked by passing grade. So you have Kentucky at the top at 61 there, and it's PFF passing grade all the way on the far right that's 61-1. You can see Utah at the bottom, PFF passing grade on the far right, 48-4, right? And right in the middle, about 66, you see Michigan. They went 7-5 during the regular season, despite a 55.5 passing grade. And you can look at most of the teams on this list, they were the only team that had a winning record, right? So again, that speaks to the level of talent and coaching. We talked about it at the time that the Wolverines had last season. The talent on the roster, the power of the program, the strength and conditioning staff, the smart coaching across the board that they managed to win 7 games despite having one of the worst passing attacks in the country. And when you look at what Michigan's going to happen this season with Underwood, I don't think anyone's expecting him to come in and be a savior and be like a transcendent superstar day one. And he doesn't need to be because the talent and the infrastructure is already there. The Wolverines are just looking for a baseline competency, or to say it another way, they're just looking to go back to average. And what's interesting, if you look at the numbers from 2024 in the average department according to passing, let's go ahead and pull up that graphic, Mize, if you don't mind. So this is in the middle of the pack of PFF passing grade from last season in college football. You can see Boston College right there with 31st. Their passing grade 73.7. You can see South Carolina at 40th at the bottom there. Their passing grade 70.9. And let's look at 37 right there. They have Texas, right? Their passing grade was 71.7. Not terrible, right around middle of the pack. I think to me, Texas and Michigan, well, you could argue which one's a little bit better, a little bit worse about certain things, very similar. Both blue bloods, both great histories, both great programs, great strength and conditioning staff, great coaches, great recruiting departments, great transfer departments, right? Good conferences, everything you want to think about, both Michigan and Texas have. Now you can argue maybe Texas is better at this or Michigan's better at that, but I think they're at least comparable. And look at Texas's record and their performance last season when they had just an average passing game. If Michigan's passing game gets up to, again, just average, I think we'll see a similar leap to where the Wolverines get around that Texas Longhorns record. Now, do I think they, go to the Big Ten championship game? Do I think they make a deep playoff run like Texas did? Maybe. I would say probably it's a year early because Underwood as a freshman is probably asking a lot. But the point is, just with some improvement, not to superstardom, not to the best quarterback in the country, not to even top 10, not even the top 25 quarterback play in the country. If they just get to average Power 5 QB play in the country, this is a Wolverines team based on their talent, based on their coaching, based on their development, that's going to be poised for a massive leap forward. Lindsey is really high on Underwood, as he should be, because if he just gets this team back to average as a passing team, this is a Wolverines team that can be dangerous. And getting to average, it's a big leap for Michigan because they were not average last year. They're quite terrible at throwing the football. But if Underwood can take them there, which I think he will, this is a Wolverine squad that's a lot more dangerous than people think. All right, Miles, I'm curious what your thoughts are on all of this. But first, Michigan fans in the comment section below. All right, we're now kind of, like I said before, rubber meets the road time. So here's your chance, final chance right now. Give us your prediction for the Wolverines record in 2025. Wins, losses, put that in the comment section right now. Just focus on the regular season. Don't worry about any potential postseason. Really want to hear from you guys. Get it in writing. Really put your brains to this. Let us know what you think Michigan's final 2025 record will be. Put it in the comment section below. But Miles, over to you now. What are your thoughts on this latest out of Ann Arbor?
Yeah, Nick, I think this is really important for the Wolverines because, like you said, this is a strong team. This is a team that finished very well. This is a team that I think there's a lot of great stuff going for them. And you look at what this team has been able to do in the past. We look just 1 year ago for the Wolverines. This is a top 10 passing team in the country. So, like you said, I don't even think that, Underwood has to get them to that, crest. They don't have to break into the top 10 immediately. But if there's something better than where were they on this 66th in the country, you're going to be pretty good. I think if he gets you up into that 30 range, this is going to be a national championship contending team. I think that the college football playoff at the very least contending team. Michigan was really, really good last year. They beat some strong teams solely with defense and running the football. So if they can add some semblance of a passing attack in here, some semblance of good quarterback play, which by all accounts, Bryce Underwood is a fantastic quarterback. Like you said, already college frame, already great size, already coming in, grinding the playbook, doing everything that he possibly can do to be a good quarterback for this team, have a hot start, really get, fast all the time. We say this all the time. Good players are good all the time. They're good all the way through. So we heard in the beginning good things about Bryce Underwood, even when it's slow news cycle, people are just trying to say stuff throughout the whole process. And now, even when it's the most important, we're still hearing great things about Bryce Underwood, what he's able to do, even with training camp going on. There's a million stories out there. There's a million things you could talk about, but they're still talking about how hard of a worker he is, how much he's in the books. Because this is a guy that is really trying to get an early leg up. I think it's going to be critically important for Michigan going forward as far as Underwood getting off to a hot start. I think he can do it. He's putting the work in. And this team, we're going to see some big time results because, like we said, if they're not 66, if they can get that 55.5 passing grade up, this team is going to be very, very dangerous. We saw what they could do when they're in the top 10. I don't even think they need to be there. I think that they can truly be a college football playoff contender if they're like top 25 type of passing team. And I think that's a reasonable mark for Bryce Underwood to raise this team up. I think there's a lot of good weapons on this team, a great defense, just good coaching overall. I think it's reasonable to think that, at his peak this season, he's able to lift them up there. I think he can go even further in the next few years, but I think as a baseline, get him in that top 25, 30 teams in of college football right now. That's where I think that this team can go. I think Bryce Underwood's going to be a huge difference for the Wolverines. I think it's going to get them to where they want to be, and that's back into the college football playoff, trying to contend for national championships.
And just one final point here, right? The infrastructure you kind of alluded to is there. He doesn't need to. It's not like they're an air raid team, right? It's not like they're going to throw the ball 40, 50 times. They're a defense, special teams, run the football. So it's not like he has to go out there and throw the ball 40 times. He just needs to, when the opportunities are there, to take advantage of them. And last year they didn't. I mean, not to be mean to any passing quarter, not be to be mean to any quarterback last year for the Wolverines. They just didn't take advantage of enough of the opportunities. Underwood, with those opportunities, should do much better, is expected to do much better. And based on the reporting, probably will. And that by itself will be enough. This is still going to be a running football team. They're still going to play great defense and special teams and all of the things they do in Ann Arbor, but just that incremental improvement in the passing game, that by itself, because they were so bad last year and because passing is obviously so important, that by itself will be a catalyst from a 7-win regular season to, I agree with you, to a 9-10 win is probably my target, which is right in the thick of college football playoff contention.